It is Monday, 13th day of July, 2026. I am Dan Kuntz. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It is Monday, and if you've been watching the show at all over the last decade or so, you know what we have for you on Mondays. I'm here. I'm not going to work real hard. Malcolm's here. He's not going to work real hard because, you know, it's Monday. We are in for a very warm week. We had a nice little respite, nice little break from the hot weather yesterday. We only had 84 on Sunday. That was the first time since July 2nd that our afternoon high was actually not up to normal. That's going to change. We'll be close to 10 degrees warmer than 83 or 84 today, and it is going to be hot. Could see some thunderstorms. Going to be a little dicey there. The National Weather Service is being quite honest with us. They say we could see some thunderstorms or not. They say we just don't know at this point. We had a lot of weather to talk about. And as far as the area fires are concerned, the one thing that would worry firefighters would be wind, and there's very little wind at all in the forecast. So there is that. So weather, yes. News, the latest on the fires, we'll have that. Mariners ended the, well, it's not quite the first half of the season. They're already past that. But the All-Star break traditionally is the midsummer break, and at least they closed out on a winning note down in Tampa after losing 5 in a row. This team needs a break, and they're going to have one. They don't play again until Friday when they host the Giants. And we'll talk about the Apple Sox, who continue to kick a little West Coast League butt. And in the back half of the program, a conversation with Jerri Barkley. I hadn't seen Jerri in forever. She runs Visit Chelan. That is the Chelan County governmental entity that tries to get people to come visit Chelan County. She knows what she's talking about. She wrote a very fascinating column in one of the weekend editions of the Wenatchee World a couple of weeks back, and that piqued my interest, and I asked Jerri to visit me. We went out to the Spirit of 9/11 Memorial out in Kashmir to tape that interview. You'll like that in the back half of the program. Let's take our tour, see what the cameras are looking like. You see a little haze off into the distance. Some of it is from some of the fires that are to the north of us. The transfer fire is pretty much a done deal. That was the one that broke out over the weekend near the Walmart in Chelan. They've all, but we'll get to show you a live shot of that in just a couple of minutes. But there's still, of course, the B&O fire up there. And also we got some residual smoke from some fires in central and eastern Oregon because of the pattern of the high pressure ridge. It has shoved some of that smoke up our way. But outside of that, it really isn't too bad. Very high, very thin clouds. That's the lower Butte camera at Chelan as the sun continues to come up. You have noticed, at least I have, that the days are getting shorter and shorter. Sunrise this morning was at 5:18. Sunset tonight will be at 8:55. Sunrise will continue to be a little bit later. Sunset will continue to be a little bit earlier. We're losing almost 2 minutes of daylight a day now as we get deeper and deeper into July. Let's see what the Omak-Okanagan area looks like. There you go. You can see the smoke up near the Okanagan-Omak area from the B&O fire. Their big thing there is structure protection and make sure nothing happens to Okanagan or Omak proper. It's much closer to Okanagan, but it's still, I got some work to do there. But again, luckily no wind at all in the forecast, even up in that area. We like that. Even relative humidity isn't too bad. And there is Nanapoc Ridge as we take a look at the beautiful Lake Wenatchee area, and there's still a little bit of snow way up in the Cascades at about 8,000, 9,000 feet in elevation, but it continues to melt. So there you go there. We have a couple of slides to show for you. First of all, we are in for some pretty hot weather coming our way, which means, of course, elevated fire weather conditions, but you need wind for a red flag warning, and there just really isn't any. But it's going to feel a lot like summer. Again, we only hit 84 yesterday. We'll be a lot warmer than that today. Our warmest daytime highs are going to be Tuesday and Wednesday in the mid-90s, and we'll be pushing 100 by the weekend. And again, there is a little uncertainty as thunderstorms are concerned, but kudos to the National Weather Service. They're being honest with us. They say we really don't know Wednesday through Thursday. They do know that there is an increased chance of some showers. Now, for the Wenatchee Valley, the best chance for rain is going to be early Thursday morning into about sunrise Thursday morning. That's the best chance for rain for the Wenatchee Valley right now. It could very well change, and it probably will. Best chance for thunderstorms here in the Wenatchee Valley is going to be Thursday afternoon. There's going to be a little bit of instability in the atmosphere. The last thing we need is lightning. That would just suck. Rain would be fine, showers would be fine, lightning not so fine. Hopefully we'll get past this. Hopefully we won't have to worry about it at all. From the National Weather Service, after a high of 84 yesterday, we're going to jump up to 92 degrees today. Right now it's 63 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. Mostly clear tonight, 65 for the overnight low. We pop up to 96. On Tuesday, a couple of clouds Tuesday night. Look how warm the overnight lows are going to be. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday, sunny, hot, 96, and then late in the day on Thursday, basically Thursday night, we do have a chance of some overnight showers Wednesday night into Thursday, about a 40% chance of showers, and then a chance of showers Thursday morning, but thunderstorms could pop up, and thunderstorms have a mind of their own, you never know. That would be on Thursday afternoon if, in fact, it happens. Again, the computer models are not in agreement. We're pretty confident we're going to get some rain early Thursday morning while everybody's sleeping. But as far as thunderstorms Thursday night, they're hedging their bets. They just don't know yet. And then we go right back to sunny and hot, 95, 97, possible record high temperatures on Saturday and Sunday. It is, after all, July. Going to take a break and come back with the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, Monday edition on the NCWF channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCW Life, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
If you don't like the heat, get out right now because it's only 61 degrees. We'll be right back into the 90s after a brief break over the weekend. 92 today, mid-90s. Coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday, the possibility of a thunderstorm on Thursday, but we're going to see temperatures at least in the mid-90s starting tomorrow for the foreseeable future, quite possibly hotter by the weekend. It's about 9 minutes after the hour. I think we have the latest live shot from up in Chelan of the transfer fire, and as you can see by the burns car, not a lot to talk about. They hopped on it rather quickly. There's the Walmart you can see on the left side of your screen. Now the evacuation levels for some of the areas around the transfer fire have all been reduced to level 2. I'm talking about Wilmorth Drive, Edwin Road, Eisenhart Road, Columbia View Road, and Atkinson's Heights Lane. The highway is open. They would prefer that you not take it. if you don't need to. So looks like they've all but gotten it taken care of. They didn't have to call in for a whole bunch of extra state support. They got the water drops on it, and the local fire districts were able to get a pretty good hand on the transfer fire. Looks like that bullet has been dodged. You can still see the scars and a few crews on there looking for mop-ups for the most part. No injuries that we know of, and no structures were lost on the transfer fire over the weekend up near Walmart in Lake Chelan. That's the latest fire map at the B&O fire up there in the Okanagan Omak area. A couple of things we do know this morning: that it was human caused. They're trying to figure that out. Of course, that's under investigation. Most of the work today is going to be trying to reinforce the lines that already exist. And the number one thing, structure protection around the Okanagan and Omak area. That's a big thing. The good news I already mentioned today is that they have pretty good firefighting conditions right now with the clear skies. Well, they have a more accurate map now that the sun is up, and they'll be able to get up with the air and figure out exactly how that is going. It's still about 3,000 acres, we're told, and they do know it's human caused. Again, that's the B&O fire in the Okanagan Omak area. And there was a fire in the Ancient Lakes area near Quincy on the Columbia River. That's about 300 acres. There was level 3 evacuations. That was back down to level 2. It began in vegetation, got going pretty good by Sunday. The cause, we don't know yet as of this morning, but again, this is the Ancient Lakes fire. The fire doesn't actually have a name yet, but it got quite a bit of attention yesterday. Whatever happens there, stay close to our website and our social media pages. We'll let you know if anything develops there. We talked about the B&O fire, of course, as they deal with that fire. Last Friday marked the 25th anniversary of one of the most tragic fires in this state's history. It was on July the 10th, 2001, that the 30-mile fire killed 4 young wildland firefighters working in the Methow Valley Ranger District near Winthrop. Jessica Johnson, Devin Weaver, Karen Fitzpatrick, and Tom Craven memorialized in that monument at Winthrop Park. It also holds the names of firefighters who've died on duty in the years since the 30-mile fire. Their supervisor, of course, you might remember, in that fire later pleaded guilty to making false statements in the federal investigation that followed their deaths. The Moses Lake School District has reached a $1.85 million settlement with one of the contractors involved in the building of Groff Elementary School, the district's newest school building. Opened in 2022, it cost $18 million, but they had to shut it down, and it's been shut down since April of last year because lots of safety problems, including an incident in which one person was shocked pretty good. The settlement announced on Friday is with Design West Architects, accused by the district of failing to properly administer the construction. The district is continuing its lawsuit claims against the people who actually built the school, the contractors, including Fowler General Construction. They were the primary builder. Renovation work at the school has been ongoing since. The district, they hope that Groff Elementary will reopen for the upcoming school year. And a final reminder, we've been warning you about this, but today is the day, and starting today and for most of this week, the Tumwater Canyon Highway 2 between Leavenworth and Coles Corner will be closed in its entirety so they can get the permanent work done after the mid-December slides and mudslides and the road washouts. Everything they did earlier in the year was all temporary just to get the road reopened again. Now that the weather is warm, they can get to it and make all the permanent fixes that they need. So Chumstick Highway, and of course there's a weight limitation, no semis or any big rigs on the Chumstick Highway, which I took last week, and it's pretty beat up as it is, so expect heavy traffic on the Chumstick Highway for most of this week as they get on it again. The Tumwater Canyon between Leavenworth and Coles Corner closed both directions for, I believe, the next 3 days. Just a heads up there. And that is the news on this Monday. We'll not be having an NCAA Evening News tonight at 5:36. Not going to happen tonight. Long story. It'll be back tomorrow, but no newscast tonight. But you can always go to our websites and our social media pages to find out what's going on throughout the course of the day. Today, if you have a news tip, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. That's a good email because about everybody in the building Well, almost everybody gets it. Going to take a break and come back with wrap up the weekend in sports. That's next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether.
We provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Some of life's best moments happen at home. Morning coffee in the kitchen, family dinners around the table, quiet evenings at the end of a long day. For 100 years, Boswell's Home Furnishings has been part of those moments, helping generations create homes filled with comfort, quality, and care. As Boswell celebrates a century in business, we simply want to say thank you for making us part of your story. Boswell's Home Furnishings. It's closer than you think.
17 minutes after the hour of sports, the good news, Randy Arozarena had a big 3-run home run. The bad news, we lost Emerson Hancock. He had to leave the game at the bottom of the second inning. We'll show you why. But the Mariners did beat the Rays 8-2 yesterday to snap their 5-game losing streak. Weston Wilson, by the way, he had a solo home run, his first as a Mariner. He did that with 1 out of the 4th. We'll show you that, too. Seattle heads into the All-Star break with a 48-49 record. That's 1.5 games behind the Rangers in the AL West.
He's got 3 walks already in this one. Little looper, and it's going to fall for a base hit. A run across. Garver scores. Right behind him is Young. And the Mariners get a big, and everybody else in the American League for that matter. Top of the order is really good. That's off of Hancock's pitching hand. Picks it up, fires to first in time, but Hancock is down, and you worry about that hand. He says, I'm okay.
Well, you probably still got to try. Carl Torgerson's going to head out there.
They're coming out to look at Hancock again. He's coming out of the ball game.
Yeah, he's frustrated too. He is so frustrated. This is when that blood pressure, heart rate drops a little bit. That's when you start getting that swelling, and that's when it becomes a factor. Some of that depth.
That ball's crushed. Left field and deep. Simpson back. Gone. Way gone. Weston Wilson. And it's 4-0.
Well, the Mariners getting that 4th run. They had Ian Seymour on the ropes last inning. He was able to get out of it with a double play.
Arozarena to right center field. That's deep. Mesa goes back at the wall. Gone. It's out of here. Arozarena with a 3-run shot. And it's 7-0 Seattle. Barely got out. Had to take a second look. It's his 11th on the season.
Well, Randy Arozarena has been doing it all in this first half.
That's a fair ball. Down the line it goes. Kennedy will score. And Crawford with an outstanding game. 2nd double, 3rd RBI, 3rd hit, 4th time on base.
Well, I don't know if he wants to go to the All-Star break, J.P. Crawford. He wants to keep it going.
Got him. A swing and a miss. Ball game. And the Mariners salvage the final game on this road trip. The final game in this series. They do it with big offense early. It's just a terrific effort by the bullpen, who had to shoulder the load and pitch the last 7 1/3 inning.
You know, I think he still wanted to keep going. He really did. He didn't want to give up the ball, and that's the competitor that he is. He came back in after the inning was over, continued to swell up on him, but wanted to go back out, see how it felt, and then got a couple outs, but then just the more he threw, the more it continued to swell, and kind of lost feel for the ball a little bit, and it was time to get him out of there. But he fought till the end for sure. Obviously, a great way to end the first half. Tough road trip from beginning to end, but a good way to end it. I thought it was, you talk about a team effort from top to bottom today. That's what it was. With Emerson kind of exiting early, you really had to rely on the bullpen here for a lot of innings, and they all delivered. I thought they all threw the ball extremely well, and got us where we needed to go. And we had all the arms that we needed ready to go, and they stepped up and filled a huge void for us. And offensively, things turned around a little bit today, and we were able to get the big hit, able to put some traffic on the bases and drive them in. Obviously, Randy's homer, really kind of put an exclamation mark on it and gave us the lead that we needed. But, again, continued to add on late with another run, a couple of doubles there. Really good at bats. I thought we took a really good approach off Seymour and stuck to it and put a lot of traffic out there, got him in. And, a day that, we can build on for sure. This was a tough road trip, but I feel like in a lot of ways we were in a lot of these games until the end, and they kept fighting, and that's the fight we'll continue to see here in the second half.
And now it is the All-Star break. In fact, the Mariners don't play again until Friday when they host the Giants. Now, the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby is tonight at 5 o'clock in Philadelphia. It's on Netflix, which sucks for me because I don't have Netflix. But if you want to send me your username and password, I'll take it. But I will be able to watch the 96th annual Major League Baseball All-Star Game tomorrow night at 5 o'clock because that's on Fox. That's on television. And I, in fact, have television. All right, to the American League West scoreboard as we head into the All-Star break. As you look at the scores, I'll tell you the standings. As I already mentioned, the Rangers lead the division by 1.5 games over the Mariners, who beat the Rays. Of course, the Rangers beat the Astros, so Houston falls to 3 games back of Texas. The Athletics are now 8 games back of the Rangers. They got clobbered by the White Sox, and the Angels in last place at 11.5 games back after losing to the Twins. Pretty entertaining Friday and Saturday in the World Cup, and now we're down to the Final Four, and the Final Four teams will each get to play 2 games. First of all, in case you missed it, over the weekend, the results of the quarterfinals: France shut out Morocco 2-0. Spain took care of Belgium 2-1. At least somebody scored on Spain. That hadn't happened. The Three Lions get by Norway, but not by much. 2-1. Argentina scored some late goals to beat Switzerland 3-1. So we are set for the semifinals. Tomorrow in Dallas, France and Spain, 2 teams that really don't much care for one another. They're neighbors. After all, they get the honors of the first semifinal game. That'll be in Dallas tomorrow at noon. And then Wednesday at noon in Atlanta, it is England and Argentina. The winners of those games will play for the championship. The losers will play for 3rd and 4th. The 3rd and 4th place game will be in Miami, and the World Cup 1 week from Saturday, or coming up this Saturday, the championship in New York/New Jersey. Apple Sox keep rolling right along. They won another series. They played 11 3-game series this year. They've won every one of them, including yesterday. In fact, yesterday's victory was a walk-off victory. They scored a run in the bottom of the 9th to beat Kelowna 5-4. That was yesterday. Kelowna got the better of the Apple Sox on Saturday 5-2. Wenatchee won the opener on Friday 2-1. Now they are on to the All-Star break. The West Coast League's All-Star game is in Victoria at Royal Stadium. Not a bad place to be. 5 Apple Sox players are heading to Victoria for the All-Star game. The Apple Sox won't play another regular season game again until Friday. And to the West Coast League scoreboard we go. There's Wenatchee's victory over Kelowna. Wenatchee not only has the best record in the entire West Coast League, north or south, they have it by far. They've only lost 10 league games all year. That is pretty good. Of course, they already won the West Coast League's Northern Division first half title. We know they're going to the playoffs, but they have not taken their foot off the gas. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Now, today's obscure holiday was actually on Friday, but when I did all the research on Friday for today's show, nothing really jumped out at me when I looked up some obscure holidays. So we're going to do one that was supposed to be Friday. Maybe you celebrated French Fry Day. We're going to make it today because it's French fries, and we eat a ton of them, and I'll let you know about that in just a little bit. Of course, French fries are not French. French fries are Belgium in order. It was in the late 17th century that the villagers in small towns in and around Belgium who would make fish was a regular diet. They would take the oil that they would normally cook the fish in, and somebody said, let's cut up a potato into little bitty strips and cook them that way, and the French fry was born. But it kind of stayed in Belgium until World War I, when American soldiers stationed in Belgium loved them, couldn't get enough of them, ate them up like we eat them up today. And since the official language of the army in Belgium, the natives, was French, they just called them French fries. So the French get credit, even though it was the folks in Belgium who invented the French fry in the late 17th century. How many French fries per person per year does the average American eat? About 32 pounds of French fries per person per year in this country. If there's one good, they are rich in potassium, we'll give you that. But considering the way we cook French fries, unless you're using an air fryer, probably not getting a lot of good. Thomas Jefferson had his own French fry recipe, by the way. About 7% of all the potatoes grown in this country will meet the same fate. They will eventually become a McDonald's French fry. That is a lot, because we grow a lot of potatoes, and 7% of those will end up at McDonald's. In fact, a third of all the French fries consumed in this country came from McDonald's. If you like French fries, go get them, baby. 28 minutes after the hour today in history, during the height of the Civil War, just after the Battle of Gettysburg, the draft riots broke out in New York City, the deadliest riots in this country's history. There was a huge influx of freed blacks into New York City, Manhattan specifically, in the 1850s and the 1860s, and they got all the jobs that nobody wanted, the really bad paying jobs. And then the Irish came by the thousands and the thousands and the thousands, and they would take even lower paying jobs. So the Irish were taking the jobs from the black Americans, and it was hot and it was nasty, and it was and things just blew up. They exploded. It was called the New York City draft riots, but it was basically racial in origin. The Irish on one side and the blacks on the other. This was considered, and still is, the worst riot in the United States history. Overwhelmingly Irish working class men fighting overwhelmingly African American working class men, and there you go. It was hot, anger boiled over. It lasted a long time. It lasted about 4 days. Finally, Lincoln had to dispatch troops from Gettysburg to Manhattan to quell the riot. How many people died? Nobody knows for sure. Over 100, but there are other estimates that say close to 1,000 people died. The deadliest riot lasted 3 days. Things got out of control in Manhattan for quite a while, and it broke out on July 13th, 1863. This is the first sporting event I actually remember watching as a kid. I would have been almost, how old was I? I don't know, almost 6, I think, something like that. The 1971 All-Star Game in Detroit. First of all, we're going to show you Reggie Jackson's home run, and then I'll tell you a few things about the All-Star Game that happened 55 years ago today. Check this out.
There's a long drive. That one is going way up. It is off the roof. That That hit the transformer up there. A tremendous smash. Only 8 players have hit the ball over the roof here in Detroit. And Jackson nearly did it then out of the ballpark.
It's been done 13 times, Kurt. Norm Cash has done it the most, 4 times. Mantle has done it 3. Williams has done it. But that one was really a smash, more toward right center field. Longest ball ever to be hit out in that area was estimated at 560 feet by Norm Cash. What a smash.
The ball traveled 520 feet, then it hit the transformer. Can you imagine how far that would have gone if it hadn't hit anything? Reggie's home run, well, the home runs were remarkable. Every player hit a home run in the 1971 All-Star Game would eventually go to the Baseball Hall of Fame. Reggie, of course, you just saw that. Johnny Bench, Hank Aaron, Roberto Clemente, Frank Robinson, Harmon Killebrew, they all hit home runs. They all ended up in the Hall of Fame. In fact, 19 players in this game would end up being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it was the only game the American League won between 1962 and 1983. But I remember watching that when I was just a little kid. There was a blackout in New York City in November of 1965, and everybody behaved themselves in the blackout of 1965. For one thing, it was in November, and everybody was on their best behavior. But in December of 1977, there was a widespread blackout in New York City, and very few people behaved themselves. No juice in New York City for about 24 hours. Ergo comes the looting. The statistics are rather remarkable. 1,616 stores damaged either by rioting or looting. Over 1,000 fires were responded to. 3,776 people arrested. Damages about $2 billion. But only one homicide, just one actual homicide. But everybody took advantage of the fact that there was no electricity and helped themselves to clothes and televisions and stereos and what have you. The New York City blackout of 1977. And I wish I still had this videotape because I taped the whole thing from beginning to end. Of course, if I still had the tapes, I would have nothing to play them on because I taped it on my Betamax. But today is the 39th anniversary of Live Aid, the one-day concert benefit celebration at Wembley Stadium in London, which is no longer there, and JFK Stadium in Philadelphia, also no longer there. Not a bad lineup. Paul McCartney, Elton John, Bob Dylan, The Who, Queen, David Bowie, U2, The Beach Boys, Tom Petty, Neil Young, Eric Clapton, Led Zeppelin. You can't watch Led Zeppelin's performance anymore. They've put the kibosh on that because, quite frankly, they weren't really good, but it was an event, and I taped the whole thing, and I don't have the tapes anymore. I don't think I do anyway. Birthdays. I was blown away when I realized that that guy, Harrison Ford, is 84 years old today. His breakthrough role was in American Graffiti. He was great. And that's when people started noticing who he was. Of course, Star Wars. In the first Star Wars movie, he was only paid $10,000. He would get more. Indiana Jones, The Fugitive, Air Force One. He hasn't been working a lot lately. Academy Award nomination for The Witness, which is a great movie. Blade Runner. The legendary Harrison Ford is 84 years old today. Also 84 years old today, the frontman of the Byrds, the leader of the Byrds, Roger McGuinn. He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Byrds. Inducted in 1991. I listened to some Byrds over the weekend, not remembering that it was Roger McGuinn's birthday. He and Harrison Ford are exact contemporaries. They were born on the same day. He's also 84 years old today. And Cheech Marin, happy 80th to Cheech Marin. He's 80. Somebody should probably tell him. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. For Heat and Air, call Alpine Air. They are our platinum sponsors. Lower 90s today, mid 90s for the rest of the week, close to 100 over the weekend. Today's HVAC systems are designed to run constantly without breaking down. Yours might not. If it don't, call Alpine Air. Going to take a break. Mike McNaughty has an opinion. Don't blame Mike. That's the topic today. And then Jerri, Barkley, and I went out to Kashmir to the Spirit of 9/11 Memorial in Kashmir to talk about, well, come visit Chelan. Jerri does a great job getting the folks to come here and the economic importance of tourism in our area. Jerri will join me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the Instant Life channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Community is more than just a place. It's the people, stories, and connections we share. At the Wenatchee World, we're your neighbors, your storytellers, and your trusted voice. From uncovering the issues that matter most to celebrating the moments that bring us together. We deliver the stories that keep the community moving forward. The Wenatchee World, your community voice, here every day.
Whether you're building from the ground up or transforming your space with a custom remodel, One Way Construction is your trusted partner in creating a home that's uniquely yours. Your dream home is just a call away. Schedule your free consultation and let's build something amazing together.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I am very vocal and very open about my opposition to that man in the White House for justifiable reasons. As such, I have been routinely accused of being full of hate, being deranged, and being a liberal Democrat, none of which is accurate. This criticism reached a new level after the incident at the press correspondence dinner when one of my detractors blamed me and my ilk for that wacko's act of violence. Now, this attitude is an indication of how the derangement caused by that man affects some of his MAGA-ite followers. As I said to this particular detractor, his assuming that since I oppose the man, I'm responsible for or in approval of this attempted attack is deplorable. So grow up. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Affordable power is the heart of what we do as your public utility. But we don't stop at offering some of the lowest rates in the nation. Through local partnerships, discount and assistance programs, our staff works with residents every day to keep the power on. And now, we're offering 25% bill discounts for customers who need it most. To see if you qualify, visit chelanpud.org/discounts.
Slide and surf all summer long. Soundwave Saturdays, more than a surf park, it's the summer scene. Grab a drink and enjoy live music every Saturday in July and August. Slide Waters in Lake Chelan. Don't miss it.
We are back here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley a couple of weekends ago, and it's still available online. You got to read this column that Jerri Barkley from Visit Chelan County wrote. It got me thinking that, first of all, I need to see my old friend Jerri again, who I haven't seen in about 10 years. But more importantly, the point that she made with the column, and again, you need to read it, was with the World Cup coming to the Pacific Northwest, and these people are from traveling all over the world, but they're there to cheer their country on, who's going to play one, maybe two games in Vancouver or Seattle, and then what are they going to do for a couple of weeks? Maybe they're driving over Highway 2 or over Blue Pass and visiting our little neck of the woods. And she talked about the importance, well, you wrote the column, and you didn't do it better than I did, about how it's important for the people in your line of work to make sure everybody has their ducks in a row, so to speak. Because this is an important opportunity for Visit Chelan. The way you put, I guess you really need to read as she said, I'm just going to quote her now. At the end of the day, Visit Chelan County is charged with, and I'm quoting now, promoting tourism that supports Chelan County's economy while protecting its community's culture and natural environment. So we want people to come here, but we don't want to be dependent on them. Is that basically about it? Don't screw it up. We got a good thing going?
Yes, I think it's really important that we're ready to welcome tourists. Tourism is a huge part of our economy. So a lot of people in Chelan County understand how dependent we are on tourism. Do we want to be dependent on tourism? No, we want a full portfolio of economic health so that if one industry starts to take a little bit of a dip, the other ones kind of do a little different. That's true in real estate and agriculture and other things in our economy. So I think we need a full portfolio, but when it comes to tourism, it is an integral part of our economic makeup, and it's really important for us to be ready. But the professionals in this county know that.
Well, you're a professional in this county. Do the everyday Joe Schmoes in this county understand the importance of tourism?
Well, Chelan County just funded that study to kind of rank tourism and its impact on our quality of life, as well as the economic benefits that we get from it. And I think that study was pretty clear that it is an asset to us. It allows us to do a lot of things that we couldn't do without tourism and the economic benefits that we receive from it, even your tax offsets. So it's really important for us to continue to make tourism a thriving part of our economy.
Chelan's economy is somewhat diversified, still very much ag-based, in addition to wineries and tourism, which is basically peaks between Memorial Day and Labor Day. But Chelan got smart and said we can bring people in November and December, and it seems to have worked. Talk about that, because that's.
Are you talking about like Winterfest and
yeah,
some of the
Winterfest
activities
and things
that
like
they're
that?
doing?
Because Chelan doesn't shut down after Labor Day anymore, like it used to.
No, but it is really important, because what happens in a tourism-based economy that's seasonal is those workers can't survive, so then they have to find other work. In Wenatchee, we have this magic of Mission Ridge and the summer swell. So you've got workers working in the winter in the tourism industry, and then they can find work in the summer. And I think Chelan is experimenting with how do we even out this industry so that the people can stay professional and earn a good wage and stay employed throughout all 4 seasons.
Yeah. So kudos to them. As you mentioned before, economic diversity is terribly important. Then you have Leavenworth, whose entire economy is based on come to town.
It is, but they're very strategic. And you know, I would highly recommend that you interview Troy if you haven't before. But it is fascinating to talk to him because of his previous experience before taking on the Leavenworth Chamber executive position. He has done some magical things, and I've said this in other interviews, but when you take a peak visit, I'll use Disneyland as an example because I grew up in Southern California. And I remember it getting really busy on weekends and not busy during the week. And they had to figure out a way to make it so that they could even it out. There wasn't a swell of workers that worked only on weekends. There wasn't over-pressured. And Leavenworth was experiencing a lot of that before COVID. 50 buses coming from Seattle to see the Christmas lighting and things like that, and that wasn't sustainable. It wasn't sustainable not only in the economy of it, but just the experience. If you have 50 buses all of a sudden, like you were alluding to earlier, if you have 50 buses all of a sudden hitting the downtown with that many people, what kind of experience are they having? So he looked at and interviewed a lot of the retail businesses and restaurants and said, okay, what's the peak number of people that we can entertain and provide a really quality experience? Well, about 2,500 a day. Well, let's level this out. So we'll leave the lights on instead of just turning them on weekends. And let's provide an experience and an environment that allows that experience to be a quality experience no matter what day they come. And I think they've done a really good job of that. And I think Leavenworth has been really strategic in communicating how many people are coming or what was the pressure last year and the year before. So can you expect this weekend to be really busy, or is it going to kind of slow down? And they track really carefully so that they can provide that information for a business to provide a good experience.
And they learned their lesson, especially with the Christmas lighting celebration, because on those big, it was a sea of people. Nobody wants to be in a sea of people, and so they don't have what they have done in years past. It's just like, here are the lights, and come and enjoy it.
Well, we're kind of like, I don't know lemmings that well, but we are kind of like lemmings. Like sometimes we go to
That's
restaurants.
a good analogy, yeah.
When we go to restaurants, we look to see if it's, at least I do because I came from a more urban experience, but if I go to a restaurant that someone's recommended and it's empty, I'm suspect. I am a little suspect. I kind of go, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't like waiting in lines any more than anybody else, but I've been spoiled here. I don't have to wait in lines very often. But you can see if our major population is Seattle. That's our,
the folks who are coming.
Yeah, that's them. They're used to lines.
Yeah.
So they get here and they see, Christmas lighting, we have to wait. They're going to be okay with that because they are used to that. We're not used to that. So we look at it completely differently. But I do think we want to provide a different experience. I do think when they come over from Seattle, it's really important for us to provide the kind of experience that we have. I mean, look at this place.
Yeah.
They come to look at this place and all of the places. It's not just Leavenworth. It's not just Chelan. It's Mount Kashmir.
It's this location
trails.
Where we're at right now. This is a beautiful, sober thing to be, but you can't come here at the spirit of 9/11 Memorial in Kashmir and not be touched by it. And it brings people here for the right reasons. And now, here we are, I was thinking about this, I was making notes about the Wenatchee Valley specifically. People are not coming to the Wenatchee Valley to come to the Wenatchee Valley, which used to be just an afterthought. We could sleep in Wenatchee and eat there, but we're going to Chelan to go water ski, or we're going to go to Leavenworth to do this or that or the other thing. It wasn't that long ago. In the winter, when you think about the Wenatchee Valley, in the wintertime it was Mission Ridge and skiing. In the springtime, an influx for apple blossom. Then they leave. Summertime was Lake Chelan and camping and that kind of stuff. And Leavenworth was kind of a year-round kind of a thing. And now we still have Mission Ridge. We still have apple blossom. Lake Chelan has branched out beautifully with golf courses and wineries and restaurants. Leavenworth is still Leavenworth. We now have the Wenatchee Well. We have the Town Toyota Center. We have the Wenatchee Apple Socks, the Loop Trail, the Foothills Trail in Wenatchee, Pybus, Tour de Bloom. I mean, these are all new things.
But it's not just those in those populated areas. If you've looked at downtown Kashmir and all of the new businesses and the energy that this little community is creating, they're also growing. Side Street is amazing. Honey Hour is amazing. And I don't want to limit myself to just the ones that are coming to mind, but it is great to send travel writers here or tourists here because they're creating a unique experience. Plain has a new park that'll be right downtown. That's another new experience. Entiat right now has an outdoor ambassador program that operates on weekends with volunteers. So they're learning about the people that come to Entiat so that they know how to develop their tourism assets. What should we ever have a hotel? I don't know. Do people come here how are they experiencing Entiat now? And they're last year we couldn't do Silver Falls as a location because of the fires, but this year they're entertaining quite a few interviews with people who visit Silver Falls to the tune of like 100 a day on the weekends, and that provides them such a good opportunity. If somebody were to come in and want to invest in Entiat and want to build a restaurant, they're going to have some information to provide on how many people they can expect.
Entiat is such an untapped gem,
right?
Isn't it? It's a jewel waiting to be plucked.
Right. Yep.
Hey, kudos to the Chelan County PUD. They didn't have to do what they did at Rocky Reach, but they did. Last time I was there were 70 Corvettes parked out in front. It was a Corvette Club. They were taking a road trip, had not been to the new Discovery Center, and they were blown away by it.
Yeah, yeah. And Manson is experimenting with dark sky and trying to get the community to be more dark sky friendly. So they're all creating their own little experiences, their own little nuances and reasons to go visit those small communities, which I think is great.
And something that Jerry and I talked about before we rolled film, hotel companies don't build hotels unless they're pretty confident that people are going to come and stay. There's been a hotel boom, especially in the Wenatchee Valley. There's been how many hotels have popped up in the last 25 years?
Well, 4 opened just during COVID. So we added 400 hotel rooms during 2020. So there's over 1,800. There's over 1,800 hotel rooms in Leavenworth. There's about the same many in Chelan. There's about the same number in Wenatchee. Wenatchee is a little less seasonally impacted, has a little bit, but they're all just doing so well. Yeah.
And the fact that we're centrally located, which also leads me to something else to think about, the newly remodeled convention center.
Well, yeah, what a gem.
I mean, come on, we're doing pretty good. You must like your job.
I do love my job.
It can't
How can you not?
It can't be too hard to sell this place.
No, it's not too hard. When people call and say, well, what do you think we should do? It's like, how much time do you have for me to even tell you? Because there's so many things that I could tell you.
Talk about collaboration between your visit Chelan County. So your fence, so to speak, is the county, but there's also the Chamber of Commerce, and there's lots of different people, you know, who are doing kind of what you're doing, but not quite. Is there a lot of collaboration between your organizations?
Yeah, there's a lot of collaboration. Good. I think the benefit for me is having worked at Visit Wenatchee for 10 years before working for Chelan County. I understand the industry. I also understand that those communities have their own budgets and their own focus. So I don't overlap. If somebody calls me and mistakenly thinks that I'm Chelan, then I make sure to pass them along to the experts in Chelan. My job is the unincorporated areas of the county, so it is my job to work with the smaller communities to figure out how can we develop assets, how can we help you so that our tourists stay longer. I mean, Leavenworth and Chelan and Wenatchee do such a great job in getting people here. My job is to get them to stay longer and see more.
Well, good work. And by the way, the website, Visit Chelan County, is fantastic.
It's a new one.
Yeah.
We just launched it.
It's fantastic. It has on the front page. They have a webcam on top of the what's the hotel on
the Residence Inn.
The Residence Inn. It's just really cool. It's got a shot of Walla Walla Park.
We're working on getting one on the top of Grandview in Chelan so that we'll have some live coverage there. But we learned that lesson from, speaking of collaboration, from the Leavenworth Chamber, because the #1 visited page on their website is their live webcams, because we all battle the news machines in Seattle that are talking to them about wildfires or weather events or things like that here. And it's been really beneficial to have them be able to see for themselves and not rely on the sensationalism sometimes that a news agency might need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of feedback have you gotten on the column I referred to at the top of this interview? Again, it's in the Wenatchee World. It was in a couple of weekend editions ago. It's still available to read online. Just type in Jerri Barkley with an I, by the way, in the search bar and you'll find it. Have you gotten feedback on what you wrote? Because I got a lot out of it.
Oh, yeah, I have actually. Yeah. I was pretty surprised. But yeah, I think it's just, I have tried to make a concentrated effort to talk more about tourism, because it's easy to just go to my office and do my work and not really communicate out as much as I should. So I've been trying to do that. So thank you for that.
Read it, folks. What's a good day? We'll close with this. What's a good day for Jerri Barkley when you turn off the lights and lock the office door and head home? On
a day like today?
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is
I get
beautiful.
to talk to you about tourism, and I just can't talk to enough people about it, because nobody really. I kind of nerd out. You know how that goes.
I am envious of your job.
Are you?
Yes.
Aww.
Yes,
okay.
I am.
Well, you can come and work with me anytime you want. I'm still a one woman show, so
but
I could use the help.
You do it very well. What's next for Jerri, by the way? As we
yeah, that's a good question, isn't it?
Anything Anything that we need to touch on, or should we just leave it at that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jerri Barkley, I've known this lady since back to the Mission Ridge days. She's been class all the way. It's always good to see you. I will promise I won't be a stranger, okay?
Thank you.
You're
That'd
welcome.
be great.
You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley, and we'll be right back.
Did we do good?
We did really good.
Oh, good.
Okay, now we're going to tape it.
Chelan PUD works hard year-round to reduce fire risk and provide dependable service for our customers. But when extreme fire weather is forecasted, we may resort to a public safety power shutoff, turning off power to a specific area in order to prevent fire. In this rare event, we'll keep you informed before, during, and after the shutoff. To stay prepared and check if you're in a PSPS zone, visit chelanpud.org/PSPS.
For the last, I don't know, a couple weeks or so, they've been working on Yakima Street right outside of our studios between Mission and Chelan. And you probably can't tell, but they're jackhammering away, not 30 feet from where I'm sitting, backhoes and stuff. So right now we have about a 3.7 earthquake going on in our building. I don't even know what it is that they're doing, but I can tell you it's a little annoying. As far as the weather is concerned, if you don't like it hot, it's also going to be a little annoying. We're in for a pretty good heat wave. We got a break over the weekend. We only got to 84 on Sunday, actually below normal. That's going to change big time. We're going to be into the lower 90s today, mid 90s on Tuesday. A little bit of a cool down in the middle of the week, and then we go right back up to near 100 by the weekend. There is some concerns, however, about thunderstorms. Now, the National Weather Service is being straight out. They're saying their confidence isn't the best for thunderstorms, but there's enough warning signs out there that it could be, it's possible anyway. Now, for the Wenatchee Valley, I'm not talking about all of north central Washington or even eastern Washington, just for the Wenatchee Valley, our best chance for rain, and we need it, would be early Thursday morning. Our best chance for thunderstorms would be Thursday afternoon, hopefully not associated with lightning. 92 today, but lots of sunshine, the one consistent through the entire forecast. As you can see, no real wind at all in the forecast. 96 on Tuesday. Wednesday, late in the afternoon, we could start seeing some clouds roll in. Going to be hot. 96, some light rain possible. Early Thursday morning, a thunderstorm possible on Thursday afternoon. We'll know more tomorrow, and then we get really hot just in time for the weekend. It is summertime after all. Provided the show isn't canceled, I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye.